Hi everybody, welcome to the Makeup Chair. Today I'm doing a special occasions video. This is how to apply foundation for special occasions that there's going to be pictures taken. So kind of for photographs and all that kind of stuff. It's really easy. I keep it quite drugstore as well, just so that everybody kind of has the chance of getting these products. So if you're interested in seeing how to do that, then just keep watching. And if you want to have a look at how I did my eye makeup and the rest of my face, you can check the link up here, which will take you to that video. And you can read more information up on my blog. Now that everything is said, let's get started. Cleansed, toned and moisturized my face, and now I'm going to move on to primers. There's a lot of different primers on the market. I have a blog post about my favorite ones and who I suggest them for. This is by e.l.f. It's about €6. It's very inexpensive and I really like it. If you want to see a full review on this, you can check the link up here. So you only need a very small amount of primer. Even if you wanted to do something like all your friends buy one because they're kind of expensive, so you want to buy like a primer and then you can all split it, you can do something like that because all you need is a very small amount. You can all get little jars and scoops them in and then you're good to go. The most important thing about primers is not to apply too much. If you can feel it on your skin, you've applied too much. It should sink in and it should feel just very, very smooth but still feel like your own natural skin. If you don't want to buy like a load of different primers, you can actually use this primer on your eyelid as well, and it just works exactly the same way as any other primer does. So while our primer sinks into the skin, I want to talk a little bit about foundation. A few things to take into consideration when you're choosing your foundation for a special event like this is that it's matte, because a lot of the photographs will be taken with a flash. That it doesn't have too much SPF. Now it can have a very small amount, but I would say to avoid it as much as possible. One of the foundations that I've chosen today doesn't have a huge amount of SPF in it. It is mineral enriched, and usually mineral products do have a natural SPF in it, so that's why I typically avoid them. But because nowhere on this does it say that it has an SPF, it does have a slight SPF ingredient in it, but otherwise it's pretty safe to use. Now, I'm usually ivory toned, but because it's going to be flash photography, my face can kind of be washed out, and there's going to be a difference between my neck and my face. So I'm going to use a tiny drop of the darker shade just so it's nice and even. The thing when you're taking photographs is that you don't take them too close up to your face. If I have a camera and I place it right here, then I am going to have flash too much on my face. So you want to take it far away, even ask somebody else to take it for you and use a zoom instead. So I have a mixture on the back of my hand. I like to place it in the back of my hand because it brings it to skin temperature, and then I'm going to dab it over the face. So just do a little dab, a little bit of this, and just start blending it in. So I'm just slightly blending it, moving slowly across the face. And remember, as you get to the outer part of the face, you want to make sure that there's pretty much nothing too much to blend like into the hairline, especially if you're going to have an updo. You want to make sure that you get right to the back of here as you're blending. You don't need to apply foundation there, you just need to make sure that it's blended. Now don't worry if your foundation hasn't covered up every blemish that you have on your face, because that's not what it's there for. Your concealer is what's going to cover up any kind of discoloration or blemishes that you have. I'm going to take a little bit of my concealer, roll it on the back of my hand. This is going to be worked underneath the eye and on any blemishes that I have. Just covering up any discoloration underneath there. For a full demonstration video on how to cover up blemishes and to cover up any under eye circles, you can check the link up here, which will take you to the playlist. Certain areas of the face need to be concealed more than others, so even if you don't have a lot of blemishes, it's important to take a little bit of your concealer and just place it around the nose area, because naturally for us women, those areas can get quite red. As an optional step, you can layer your highlighters, your blush, or your bronzer. For that, you want to use something that's a liquid in a similar shade of the blush, bronzer, or highlighter that you're going to be using. So you want to apply this first of all, and then you want to set your foundation. You don't want to do it in any other order because you could end up kind of disturbing the makeup that you've already applied. Next, we're going to move on to setting our foundation. It's important to make sure that your skin is kind of semi-matte to begin with, so if you have a little bit of oiliness already coming through, blot your skin with some blotting paper. I'm going to take a little bit of a pressed powder, and you can use this with a powder puff if you have a lot of oiliness, or you can use this with a big fat brush. And just dab this over the face. You also want to make sure that these powders that you use on top of the face don't have anything that's light reflective in it, and don't have anything like SPF. Now I'm working it across the face, and then once I've finished, I'm going to work in a downward stroke, making sure that there's no powder left hanging on the edge of hairs or anything like that. It's going to make sure that all the hairs in the face are lying flat. A very important step, which I think a lot of us overlook, is the use of bronzer. You want to make sure you bronze your face correctly when it's used in flash photography. So I'm just going to work this from the side of my face and down, and then I'm going to work it up towards the top of the hairline. follow the natural kind of shadows that you have on your face. So as you can see, there's a shadow here, and I'm just making sure that in flash photography that's not going to disappear. Now I find for most photographs my eyebrows disappear, so I'm going to take a little bit of a pencil. I'm just going to work it across. I'm going to take an angled brush. I'm going to use this matte brown here, and I'm just going to brush it across the brows. Now if you have very thick, dense brows, you don't have to do anything like this, but it is kind of important to do something with the brows, even if you use a little bit of brow gel. So that's pretty much it. All you have to do is to add in your eye makeup, your blush, and your lipstick. I usually wait to the end to decide on what blush I'm going to be using, depending on what lipstick I'm going to choose. So if I'm going to go for like peachy lips or peachy cheeks, I want to make sure that they complement. If you want to have a look at my finished look, you can check the link up here, which will take you to the other video, and a few of the other ones up here, which will take you to the playlist that has a whole list of beginners everything that you could possibly need to know. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm Sheena Katie, and thank you for watching. And make sure you check out my blog to see what I used and where I got them from. Bye!